Hey guys, Galeforce Online here to bring you my review from episode 2 of Log Horizon. Now, the episode starts off with showing some of the older Log Horizon members, so Ishizu and Rudy. So you see they've gone a fair bit older, so they've aged up in a bit. And do you see Rudy playing a large role in helping the people of the land settle in Akibara? And through the episode as well, a lot of time Rudy is basically explaining the insight into the people of the land and just understanding more about where they come from. So he's in this ideal situation where he is an adventurer, but is also a person of the land. So he can act as a communication between the two factions. And everybody, all the people of the land are very happy that Ainz has been made a duke for Akibara. And in the episode, they also explain a lot more about what it means, and it's a very, very important title. So they see it as a large opportunity for the people of the land to have a controlling figure in Akibara. So then we meet with the Mage of Mirror Lake and Shiro and Akatsuki. So then they explain a bit more about the history of Yamato, so the Japanese server. So 600 years ago, the Imperial Dynasty was created and they had 4 dukes. So Ainz has been assigned as a new duke, but initially there was 4. Now they only explain up until, so they explain the Westerlands and the two more southern regions from the Westerlands, and then Eastal itself, but they don't explain anything on the Ezo Empire. So we're not sure about what the people of the land political factions are there. So Ezo Empire is where Suskino is. So they explain also the war with the elves, which was approximately 370 years ago for them, and that it basically destroyed most of Yamato. Like 2 of the factions from the 4 dukes have been destroyed. The empire itself was destroyed. The capital was turned into a dungeon. So the war with the elves definitely ravaged them. So Westerland's trying to pretty much pick up the pieces back together again and try to create a ruling empire again. But Eastal just didn't want any part of it. So they pretty much seceded and became the freedom cities. So then we go to Planet Huyudin, which is aligned with the Westerlands. And we see Intex there, and she's not as powerful as she once was. Alright, she doesn't have the control over Nareha that she once did. Nareha is very much supporting Shiro now and his pursuits to try and get home. And a lot of her adventurers is following Nareha. But Intex is still in control of Planet Huyudin for the finances and stuff like that. So she's very much still in charge and still a very massive player. But we also see a bit more insight into Intex, and they're very much making her out to be this villain figure. Alright, she wants to be the absolute best. So even when she was playing the game, she just enjoyed dominating and just spending the time to get her skills absolutely perfect in order to be the best. And then when the apocalypse happened, she saw this as an opportunity to pretty much conquer all of Yamato and then being the best in that way. So pretty much just self-achievement. And we see KR talking to her there, and he asks her 2 questions. So the first question is, why is she trying to control all of Yamato? So then we see this deep dark side of Intex. And then he asks if she's heard about Jazer, Jazer. Now I have no idea what it is, and in typical Log Horizon fashion, they pretty much just ended the scene there and moved on to the next one. So a fair bit of suspense being built up about who or what this entity is. So then they go back to Ainz being the Duke, and since he was assigned the Duke, he controls a large area outside of Akibara as well. So he pretty much is in charge of all the people of the land within that area. And the area is pretty much large enough that it rivals Eastal. So Ainz has gained a great deal of power there, and they also go in more into what the people of the land provide for the adventurers. And the adventurers are very much dependent on the people of the land. Pretty much 80% of all their produce gets from people of the land. So if the people decide to just not contribute anymore, then Akibara will just collapse. So Ainz, in that way, being in charge of the people of the land, has a hold over Akibara. And they also talk about the people of the land have the ability to change their subclass. So they can do a quest that probably gets given in Akibara, and they can change their subclass. So if they were a blacksmith, and they can become a salesperson or a tailor or anything else. So it gives them more opportunity than the initial game did. Because when the NPC was created, they had their subclass, and there's just no will pretty much to change it, because that's just simply what they're programmed to do. But with their individuality now, they can pursue different careers and do what the individual really wants to do. So Eastal doesn't like the alliance that the Westlands seems to have with Akibara now. So they just see that Ainz, a member of the Round Table, has now been made a duke, so very much a Westerlands alliance, and they feel uneasy about that. But we also hear that the Duke of Mahama, so Linesia's grandfather, he will pretty much assist or create an alliance with the Westerlands if Linesia is to marry the head of the house for the Westerlands. I can't remember the house name now. We do meet the head of that house as well, Tori. We see him for the first time at the end of the episode. But Ainz is pretty much, so at the roundtable conference there, we've got everybody there except for Krusty, of course, and Ainz is explaining what his intentions are. And he's explaining what him being a duke is for the round table, or for Akibara, and what it means for the people of the land, but not just for the people of the land, but for the adventurers as well. He points out that the adventurers are very reliant on the people of the land, and he also pulls out a lot of flaws that the round table has, and their inability to get certain things done. So he's pretty much taking a good crack at them, and you can see his point of view from this. All right, he did not do this as a power play. He did this for the betterment of the people. And then we also meet with Isaac and I can't remember the guild leader's name from Shopping Street 8. And they explain that some of the Honesty members have joined Shopping Street 8, and then he sent them down to train with Isaac from the Black Sword Knights in Mahama. And while they're having this conversation, Isaac makes it very clear that he is sided with Mahama. So if Mahama would be under attack or need any military assistance, the Black Sword Knights, which is a very powerful warrior guild, would assist there. So you can see where the alliances are starting to form and how people would start conflicting with each other. And then we finish off with Ainz pretty much just saying that the round table is ineffective and that he is removing himself from the round table. So he will no longer be at the conference, and he is looking to form an Akibara government. Now, I can understand where he's coming from with this, but in order to form a government, it's a very tricky situation. It's very easy to get it wrong, and in order to get the balance of power, because you've got several factions, each with a play in this. So you've got the Westerlands, you've got Plant Huyiden, you've also got the members from the Round Table itself, and then Mahama. So there's a lot riding on the ability to create this government. So it's going to be a difficult task to get it done. And then the very last scene from the episode, we see Ainz with Count Melvis and Tori. So it's the first time we meet Tori. And they're meeting with Shiro to discuss what is going to happen in the future. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the episode. So again, not a lot of action, but there was a lot more tension coming up. So they're building up for a lot more politics that's happening. And if you're looking at the factions from who is aligned with who, trying to figure out where the pieces will pretty much fall when it all collapses. So we definitely know that the round table is going to collapse. It's just going to see where these pieces fall. Anyway, thanks for listening, guys. If you like the content I'm putting out, please hit that like and subscribe. And if you have any ideas for Log Horizon videos that I need to make in the future, please let me know in the comments down below. Take care and be safe. Bye.